Is it happening? I think it's working. Okay, hello. Welcome to another episode of Just Jordan Things where I can't figure out technology. Well, today we're talking about marketing your business through social media. And I am terrible at technology, so social media is difficult for me. Let's see. Let's go through the laundry list of items. I'm Jordan. I've been in marketing for 10 years. I run my own marketing consulting business, and I have been marketing other brands for lots of times throughout those 10 years. Today we're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about TikTok. We're going to talk about Instagram. We're going to talk about all the things that you could possibly do. And we're going to talk about why it's important to not spread yourself too thin and think you need to be across all of them, because you don't. That is probably the biggest misconception. You do not have to be on every single social media channel that is out there. The important thing to note about social media is it is a gateway into your funnel. Right? We have the marketing funnel. If you're not familiar with the marketing funnel, this is what it looks like. So it's broken into 3 different sections. We got top of funnel, which is high level activities. These are the people that don't know about your brand yet that you're marketing to. Then you've got mid level. These are the people that know about your company, haven't bought from you yet. And then you have the bottom, which are people who are very familiar with your company and are about to purchase something or return and buy something again. So top of funnel activities is usually what we talk about when we're talking about social media. But the way we've gotten in today's society, you want to be talking to all 3 with your social media content. And what that means is you want to remember to introduce yourself. You want to remember to introduce your products, your service, whatever you're selling to people, whatever experience people are going to get. You want to remind them of that frequently. And then the smaller group. So the reason it is a funnel is because the group sizes go down as you travel down the funnel. So that is also going to match how much content you make for each level of the funnel. So at the top, you've got your top of level, introducing your company, introducing your products. This is what you do, who you stand for, what you are. Mid-level, you are building the rapport with your clients, talking more about the customer service, talking about the reviews that you get, talking about how you can make people trust you. And then at the very bottom, those are the inside jokes, right? Those are the people that they're ready. They're signing a contract. They're checking out in your cart. Those people are ready to purchase from you and hopefully purchase again. So you want people to move down the funnel and you want people to engage more with your content. When you're developing a social media plan, okay, here's an insight to marketers. And this is why whenever you meet a marketer, they're always feeling overwhelmed and flustered. Everything you do has to come from data. And not a lot of people understand what goes into making a single video or an image, right? We all think, oh, you just go to Canva, put something out there on the internet, make a pretty photo, and then ta-da, I did it. I posted my stuff on the internet. But everything has to go back towards your audience. Who is your target audience? That all comes from demographic information and research. What are their interests? Where do they live? What's their tax bracket? What is their gender? All of those things make up your content audience. From there, you develop a plan about what you're going to talk about, how you're going to talk about it. That is relatable to those things that you broke down in your demographics. Then it comes to being creative and writing the content, right? Whether it's going to be a video, is it going to be an image? Is it going to be a text post? Are you putting together a blog? All of those are content. From there, you have to determine what level of the funnel you're addressing people within those content pieces. See, this is why there's so much that goes behind planning a social media post that a lot of people who are not in marketing don't understand. So they expect a lot more than what we're able to deliver in a quick amount of time because there's so many questions to answer every time you're like, well, just go make a TikTok about this. To who? Why? When? Where? What? All of those questions need to be answered and are thought about in the back of a marketer's mind that we're not relaying that information to you. But that being said, it is important to make sure that you're cycling through types of content in your posting schedule. Now, take it one step further. There are three different types of posts that you should also cycle through within your content types. So we're talking about the 3 different funnels. Within those 3 different funnels, you have 3 different posting types. So now we're talking about 9 different pieces of content. This is what makes it really easy to build out a content schedule, because you can work backwards and say, how many pieces of content do I need for the month, right? It's usually 1 per day. 1 per work day, 28, 24, whatever that is. And then you have 9 types of content that you need to talk about, right? And so you just fill that in, right? And then we want to talk about top of funnel more frequently. So of the 3 different types of top of funnel content, we can talk about those 2 times each, right? 2, 4, 6. That math's right? Yes, it is. So then you fill it into your content calendar. Now, what does that look like? If I was to make a top of funnel piece of content, one of them would be introducing who I am, my personality, how I interact with brands, what you're going to expect from me. This is breaking down now your content pillars. 2, you're going to talk about the sales pitch. What's the benefit of working with you? What's the benefit of your product? What is the value that the consumer is going to get from whatever you're selling? And then 3 is a broad spectrum, right? This is what my funny, my humor, my trying to just relate to people. So that's top of funnel. Then you go mid funnel. We can talk about why this is integrated into my life, how often I use it, the durability of whatever said thing is. And you don't want to showcase these things in a selly, pitchy way. The way to make things authentic on social media is to have a conversation in that middle section. You're basically jumping in mid conversation with someone and continuing on what you've already established at the top level. Then you have your bottom level. This is where I love to use inside jokes. This is where you can establish pet names, right? For your audience, you can come up with, you can be more raw, more humorous, more like, all right, let's get down to the nitty gritty details. Like, you want the tea on what just happened? I'll give you the tea on what just happened. That's your bottom level of your funnel. You're really building that rapport and establishing a long friendship with that person. You want to talk about things that top of funnel people, either it's kind of that exclusivity piece. If you've been here, you know, right? That's your bottom level funnel. How does this translate into a business? Because a lot of the times it's easy to make your personal content, you're fun, you're relatable, but when you're putting this into a brand, you have a voice and a tone that you have to match. And this is the complexity of working with marketers. The voice and the tone of your brand has a consistent pathway, right? Everything has to align with that voice and the tone. And it basically becomes its own persona of how you're talking to the personas of your audience. And if I am overwhelming you with lingo, I am so sorry. Please ask me any questions. If I need to stop or slow down, leave them in the chat. I don't know where the chat is. I think it's over here. So we talked about persona. So the persona of your brand, it has your voice and tone. I developed my persona for my brand as myself because it is who I am. And I cannot change that. And it is easy for me to tap into. Some other brands are more elegant, regal, fun. So let's look at some examples. Target. What are some words you would associate with the brand and tone of Target? We can look at, they are, I guess, fun. Target's a fun brand. If you've seen their marketing, their advertising, they're energetic. They're not very, like, they're polished, but they're still that kind of like energetic fun, but they're not the worn down mom that's just like, do whatever you want, right? That's not Target. Target is more like, you dress up to go to Target. You have to look nice to go to Target compared to Walmart, right? That perception that we have is a direct relation of how they market themselves. Let's look at something else. Let's look at a specific product that we know, the iPhone, right? The iPhone is elite. It likes to market itself and frame its voice and tone as very like classy. It is, they don't care about something, launching something later than another brand because, okay, we took more time to do it. They are precise. They like the precision. They like the sleek, the elegant. Those are all words that you can associate with the branding of iPhones or Apple. So now that you've got that, how would you make a TikTok about an iPhone, right? This is where the creative brain really starts to go because you get the inner workings of the marketing funnel that we talked about, the content pillars, your personas. You're putting all of that together and you're making a video. I like to make funny videos just because it is easier to make them relatable, but not every single brand needs to default to, oh, you have to make funny videos on TikTok. That's the misconception. You don't have to fall into whatever you're seeing other people do on a platform. And I see brands make this mistake a lot because they're not staying true to their brand values. Things like Wendy's. Wendy's is well known for being a sassy platform on Twitter, which is great. We all love to see it. It's fantastic. But does that necessarily translate into more people eating at Wendy's because they trust the brand more, they like the brand more? Potentially. It's a strong brand awareness campaign because you see the name, you associate with it, and in comparison to how many Wendy's there are around, that then could lead people in. So there is a tie-in between being out there and having the most prominent kind of pinpoint and going back to how much of the lay of the land you have established. Duolingo is a really good one where they have a very strong presence on TikTok. They've established their presence there, but that is their brand. If you've used Duolingo, the app, you realize that it translates into the product that they are selling. It is not just an exclusive, that's who they came up with on TikTok. They have a combination of that being an extension and a heightened persona of the existing brand that already is there. And a lot of people want to copy Duolingo and say, like, we should be like this, we should do this. And it doesn't work for them because that's not an extension of the brand that they've established. It is almost jarring to their consumer because they have to context switch between what they know and have established behind the brand and what they're seeing. So if your customer sales representatives, if anything associated with the brand does not match what the people are seeing, that is a context switch that you need to be aware of and cautious of when you're presenting yourself online with marketing. Let's talk about another well-known brand that we all can associate with. I think there are some brands that are doing this really well, especially smaller content creators and smaller businesses. I think the establishment of who you're presenting yourself online is a lot more difficult because you don't have a huge marketing team to rely on. You don't have those analytics, you don't have the data. It's not as smooth of a transition into where you could be. So looking at, let's say, well, I can't just come up with a random small business name because that's not going to help anybody. But let's say you're a small hardware store in a county. You're not a chain, it's just an independent hardware store. Your presence online is what your goal is to get people into your store or your online store if you have an online store. Talking about the products that you have is a good thing. You should be talking about those things. But how do you talk about them in a way that your audience that you're targeting is interested? So you have to formulate hooks, strong hooks, so that one, the algorithm of the platform that you're talking about picks up on those things and knows who to put it in front of. And then two, interesting enough that it's going to reach a broader audience that isn't just the people that you are directly marketing to. This is a big one because reach is something that can make or break your virality. Virality is the worst word to use here. But essentially, you want to talk to this many people because within this many people, there's this many people that will travel down the funnel, right, into buying your product. So if you're narrowing your top of funnel activities to just this many people, because this is how many people you think are interested in your product, as you go down the funnel, the people that are actually going to buy gets smaller. So you want your reach to be as wide as possible with the content that you're putting out there because you're relying on an organic algorithm to push your videos to more and more people, because the more reach you have, the larger possibility of getting people down the funnel is. That in conjunction with talking about, how we get people down through the funnel is what leads to a strong strategy. I think Duolingo actually does this really well because of the brand awareness that they have. We all know Rosetta Stone, right? I would compare Rosetta Stone and Duolingo as like the two things that come to mind when I think of, okay, I want to learn a new language as an adult. Duolingo was the first thing I thought of because I've seen their videos online for so long, and so I go there. So the accessibility of your product is important. I watched Duolingo for probably 2 years before I made the decision to purchase a subscription. So that's another thing. The amount of time that you nurture your audience is something you need to know. And it's a lot harder with organic content on social media than it is with things like a newsletter subscription or a blog where you are tracking the analytics and tracking the cookies of the person that has visited your website. So we're talking about, so the first time that someone sees your video, right? They're in that top of funnel activity. How long do they stay in top of funnel before they move to the next phase? It's not okay, they see one video here and then they move here, right? They see one video here, they hang out here for quite a while. Maybe they move here, after a few months, after a year, right? They're more familiar with you. They've seen a lot of your content. They could see 10 videos that you've done up here. And, maybe a video that they saw that you intended to be here, they saw up here and then still relate to it here and never buy from you. Or they can move down after one video, right? All of those kind of traffic behaviors, that's what I was looking for, are important to know as a marketer because that establishes how often you talk about each level of your marketing funnel. If your videos here are going really quickly to the bottom of the funnel, then you can make more of these because it's working. You're covering all the bases here. You don't need to make step 2 and step 3 as much. But if you're seeing that not a lot of videos that you're making here are turning into sales, right? Then maybe you need to distribute the amount of videos you're making here to here and here more, or change up what you're doing in your top of funnel strategy. Everything in marketing is A/B testing. I don't care what anybody says, there is no one right way to do anything. It's just not possible because human behavior changes, algorithms change, and you're just basically trying to get something out there in the right person's, get the right person's attention at the right time. And a lot of people focus on the attention aspect. They're just trying to get people's attention. They'll do crazy things. They'll dump a bucket of water on themselves, or they'll throw a phone or break a phone, and they're spending all of this money to grab attention without actually having an intention of how they're going to lead them down the funnel. Intention versus attention marketing. This is the most critical thing that I've ever talked about on my channel. It is my go-to of everyday life. I talk about it all the time. Your intention for what you're doing, what you're saying to someone, the value you're offering to someone, understanding their perspective of how they're going to interpret your content is so much more important than the attention you're getting from them, right? Don't do things just for attention. Don't make a viral video, don't make a video that you just want to go viral because you want all that reach without the intention of leading them down the funnel in the future with it. You have to have both, right? You have to get the attention to relay your intention, but you can't just have the attention. You have to have both in a balancing act. That was a lot. I'm going to let you digest all of that. Okay? I am going to summarize this for you. I might make a little PDF. I might turn this into a document that you can download and put it on my website. Let me know if you're interested in that in the comments. Hi, Betsy. I did see you comment. If you have any specific questions, this is an opportunity for people to come in who don't have that extensive marketing budget, and I can kind of give you a brief consultation and guidance into where you can take your business. So please leave me questions. If you have specific things that you're trying that aren't working, or you're wondering how you could make something a little bit better, let me know. I'd love to help. I'm going to go drink a lot of water because my voice really hurts today.